Let's do another Mega Motorized Gear Cube update. It's been a minute since I've updated. I was out of town for New Year's and so I couldn't do much. I'm gonna show you all that I've got going on. If everything goes smoothly, I think that we might be testing this out with the blender in just a couple of days. And if everything goes super smoothly, we'll have a nice surprise to go along with it. Where we last left off, I had printed the mount and I was using these, I can never remember what they're called. It's luggage something. Straps to both hold the cube onto the mount and give the mount a little bit of extra support. But then a lot of you guys were just like, hey, don't you know what a hose clamp is? And yes, I do. I've used them before, but what kept coming to my mind were these metal hangers that you use to hang PVC pipe. You guys get the credit for that one. Thank you for helping me come to my senses. The hose clamps give a little bit of extra reinforcement against the splitting caused by this hole being a little bit too small and the orientation of the mount print being a little bit wonky. I've also plasti dipped this part of the mount. It's kind of nice because it sinks into the layer lines. It doesn't really add much for reinforcement, but it does make the mount grip a little bit better to the drill press, which I'm very happy about. And these changes are fantastic. In my last update, when I cranked the cube manually, I could feel the mount sliding around on the drill press. But now when I crank it, the mount doesn't move around on the shaft at all. So rotating the cube is nice and smooth, and I am feeling a lot better about the motor spinning the cube around. Another thing that adds to the smoothness of rotating this cube is being able to rotate it with this repaired yellow gear. I reprinted the outer faces of this gear and they were just a few millimeters thick. Attached them to the existing gear using a 3D printer pen. I then tried to sand it down and clean it up as best as I can. It's not perfect cosmetically, but it feels so much stronger than it did before these adjustments. I am still working on the large yellow gear, and let me tell you, this guy has seen some stuff. It has had some issues. I do have all of the new faces on here already, and that definitely has that added strength feel that the small cube does, but this specific tooth had broken off at this line right here, and so I've been trying to patch that back into place. And these teeth in general don't feel very strong, and so I've been trying to reinforce them preemptively so that they don't break. Sensible Plan B was about to be renamed Sensible Pain in the Rear. It started off as this windshield wiper motor, but the controller that I purchased did not have enough amperage to run this motor. And yeah, obviously that's on me. But I was also a little bit concerned with the drive shaft of this motor. I was a little bit concerned that I was going to have to design something to get a gear to sit on top of this, opposed to the stepper motor, which just has a flat end on the shaft, which is much easier to work with. So I kind of took that as a sign to just use the stepper motor. However, I could not get this controller to run this motor. I wasn't entirely sure if it was this controller or this really old Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, which I know has some wireless chip problems. So I got a few new replacement controllers and a Raspberry Pi 4 just to wipe the slate clean and try again. Even then, it still wasn't a completely smooth process, but it works. I still need to assemble the gearbox for the blender and find a way to attach Sensible Plan B to the cube. Thanks for sticking with me. I am really looking forward to getting this project done. Stay tuned.